If you're going to be part of a religion that's telling you that you are an extension of someone outside of yourself, and thus everything you see is an extension of someone outside of yourself, your empathy is gone. You have no empathy. You're connected for sure, but you can't empathize. This is indigenous peoples can empathize. My space of Mercury, we're very empathetic on my planet. We're very empathetic. We're so empathetic that we understand we can't get in other spirits' ways of how they're connecting with themselves. Okay, that's where, like, you can't be a superhero. Like, I'm here as Symmetry the superhero. I'm a superhero. That's because I'm original. I'm Tahuti. Alright, a hero. In fact, let's make a little difference here. What's the difference of a hero and a hero? A hero. Because, I mean, I'll say superhero, whatever. But, I mean, superhero. That's me, with the you. It's all about showing you. So, who are you? I'm just carrying my individuality so that I can show you your individuality. Superhero, that's like you're here to have sex with the O. The O is all about, okay, I'm here to have sex. But the difference between O and you then is that O is about the space and the container and you being in your own space. And a superhero is constantly entering your space on a spiritual level. Because think about this. Well, I mean, perfect example, Incredibles. That scene of Incredibles, all right? That man set up his suicide. He jumped off the building. And Mr. Incredible, being a superhero, he wanted to have sex with the man and penetrate his space. And that looked like him jumping off the building, slamming into the dude, flying him through the window, and creating way more medical bills for him, way more expenses, and putting him on like suicide watch. So now he's just deeper in the subconscious issues and whatever stuff that life was reflecting to him at the time that he was trying to run away from by killing himself. Versus a superhero, I mean, would watch that spirit kill themselves. Like, if someone is going to intentionally do something, if they're going to show that they're committed to communicating a certain way, then that sounds like an expression of their individuality. And it is not at all my job to have sex with them and penetrate their circumstances so that I create life with them in a way that they didn't want to create life. Right? They didn't call me, literally. That's why I'm Chase Callaway. Symmetry triples his C to chill on Mercury and be Chase Clarence Callaway. So then I get ringed up and Anubis is like, yo, we got like these simulations, like I checked it out. They look like they actually do require some help and we can get you connected and we'll have our whole operation popping. And then I work with Anubis, they're like, all right, so we'll do this and that, all right, boom. Because Anubis is my subconscious specialist. So I'm a subconscious specialist, right? But the fact that I'm here consciously communicating with you means that I'm not dead. So that means that I'm alive in the conscious realm. Unless you're listening to this when I am dead. But in general, right now and for the foreseeable future, I'm in the conscious realm. So this is me using my death to animate this body right now. That's the point of consciousness. That's the point of the ego. Your ego is only powered by your soul. Your consciousness is only powered by your subconscious. And these are both then the expression of your unconscious. You need both to make your unconscious possible, so that now your unconscious can be conscious and observe how its conscious and subconscious are connecting and communicating, and observe everything it's choosing to be connected to, because that's the whole thing. You can't see the subconscious world, but you can see the conscious lights that you have subconsciously chosen to connect to. And this is the point of the ego always representing the soul. So the soul is your space as a spirit. That's what like the circumstance represents, but really that's then the number 8, because your soul is not your circumstance. Your circumstance itself is you as nothing. You as nothing have an individual portion of space that no other space has. And all of us as space are growing larger, like constantly. This is why like space is expanding, okay? Like the universe is expanding. We're all working out together. Like our muscles we're flexing. Like our mind muscles, our body muscles, everything is mental. We're making money off of how we communicate. So we're just expanding our muscles. We're expanding our minds. So we're expanding the universe because our space is expanding. And all of us as individual portions of space are infinitely boundless. So what's happening, okay, is that in the observable universe, we can only ever make the observable universe an expression of our unobservable universe, which is our internal realm. And our internal realm is an expression of our actual universe, which is nothing. So the universe, everything is nothing. Everything is space. But then the moment a space becomes aware that it's nothing, it now has its own circumstance that it can express itself from. So all of us as individual spaces, it does not matter who you are. You have different circumstances than someone else. And the point is then that life is all of us using our individual circumstances to create one collective circumstance. One collective circumference. That is the universe. So we're all connected by the universe because we're all connected by our own universe. That's the fact. So this is why you can only connect with people who are like truly in emotional resonance or harmony with you. That's the only way it's possible. Because you have to have your own universe. You have to have your own soul to be able to connect with another universe. You have to have your own literally vibration to be able to feel in resonance with another vibration. So this is the point of all of us as individuals. We're all vibrating at our individual frequencies, but the fact that we feel like vibing together at all is what connects us. That's the universe. Okay, so the universe is like this cosmic womb, infinitely expanded forever by all these spirits' desires to connect. This is why life is water-based. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I love water. Don't get me wrong. I just don't resonate with water internally because I turn my water to earth / air. Or just keep it as fire. But I don't desire to connect with anyone outside of myself. This is kind of why I'm Chase. And like why I've manifested groups of women being really sexually aggressive and like almost sexually violent. Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Violent towards, like, it's like some super weird negative manifestation of what I've subconsciously gone through in the past as Hermes. And all the connections that I suppose I made. And like why I'm so passionate about being symmetry as far as balance. But mainly super passionate about individuality and being separate. And me as Hermes having my own simulation of Mercury, my own world where I can separate from the entire universe and go to. And that's so important for me that that's a key factor of Hermeticism. Again, the caduceus. All right, when you see me flying across the sky with my caduceus, the point is I'm relaying the message of how you can do what I do, which is create your own heaven. Because the fact is, you're choosing to share your heaven inside of this hell. Okay, so like, this is why I have to be here like this, because this realm is so backwards. Everyone views life the complete opposite. They view it like they were born into a world, and because they're supposed to be scared of hell, they need to go to heaven. Instead of being like a super creative spirit and being like, well, I'm so good alone, like I'll create my own heaven and I'll get connected in the way I want. But like most people aren't in the vibration like that. That's the vibration that I'm in that broke me out of worshiping Jesus and instead being like, let me just fast 24 days and connect to God myself. let me communicate with this man myself. Like, if I'm supposed to be worshiping and like giving my life to the people who are making the money off the genocide of my family because that's God's plan, let me go talk to him myself at the very least. And then of course when I fast and talk to him myself, yeah, this is not God's plan. This is the Jews' plan. This is the Christian plan to make me hate myself. And they're using my creations. They're using everything that I made from my own love to make me hate myself, so that I will use my ability to create their world, because they hate themselves so much that the only way they can connect with me is to make me hate myself more than they hate themselves, which looks like colonizing Hermeticism, turning it into the Bible, colonizing the Emerald Tablets, turning it into the Bible, colonizing the Caduceus, turning it into the medical industry, and using all of my teachings of how to love yourself and create your own simulations and be balanced in your own world to instead hate yourself, so that you'll want to run away from your space and build their world. And it's all just projections of how they feel, or else they would not be spreading genocide and murder everywhere to make us believe these ideas. So I don't want to be a part of this. I'm only a part of this right now because I was called here to be conscious, to just naturally be myself, because I'm riding this wave. I do not know what's going to happen. All I can do is grow my symmetry. That's all I can do. As Hermes, as Tahuti Trismegistus, as Chase Clarence Calloway, the only thing that I am in control of in the universe is my individual space. All I can control is how I feel and how I react and how I connect with myself. I'm not in control of anything outside of me. The idea that you could be in control of something outside of you is like the ultimate weird Jewish Christian God idea of like, that's where you get the super toxic, everything's an extension of one mind. Everything was created by one God. And this is what I've been growing up in most of my life. So it's white supremacy. It's literally what is causing climate change, which is my main thing for being here. It's just connected to literally climate change is only happening on Earth because everyone is so unconscious about how they consume and what they consume. So then that is where fasting is essential. Get tough. Because fasting is going to solve climate change. Everything that comes with fasting, all of the awareness that comes with fasting, the psychedelic experiences that come with fasting, the divine communications that come with fasting, the vibrational changes that come with fasting, yeah, that is what's going to solve climate change. Of course, the people creating climate change, they're pushing the opposite idea. They want to say it's overpopulation. So now you have Bill Gates up here with his shots and his mystery liquid saying, oh, we need to get the population of the planet down by shooting everyone with my vaccine. Literally. Like, he literally is out here explicitly speaking about overpopulation and solving overpopulation with injections. And it's like, it's so weird how when all this like pandemic stuff is happening, I literally see his video like 1 month into the pandemic where he's literally saying, oh, the world won't be able to go back to normal for 12 to 18 months until the whole globe is vaccinated. The whole globe needs to be vaccinated for us to go back to normal. And it's like, bro, what? That was literally 2 months in. Looking back, it's so remarkable that people are taking this seriously. But it's the fear. Like, that's how we started this podcast off. It's a subconscious realm. It's the fear. All the spirits who are disconnected from themselves and are happy disconnected from themselves are scared of death, because when you die, you're forced to connect with yourself again. When you die, you're forced to be with yourself again. And if you don't want to be with yourself, if you want to believe that everything's an extension of one God and that you need to live as long as possible to follow the rules and go to heaven, then yeah, you're going to be scared of death, and you're going to then just be not intelligent. You're not going to be smart. Fear doesn't make you smart. Emotions don't make you smart. Emotions are irrational. Emotions are not thoughtful. All right, I'm thoughtful. Mercury is full of thoughts. Which is, it is so funny, like, that women are now called thoughts like that, because one could consider, like, all these girls who, like, practice weird sex magic on me and, like, are doing their cult thing and, like, chasing me. Like, my name is literally Chase because I connect with myself and I chase my spirit, and that seemingly results in thoughts, as this reality now calls them, or aggressively sexual women coming after me and wanting to connect with me because the way I'm connecting with myself pleases them. And then that's where I have to protect my energy as Hermes and let you know I'm just an expression of what you should be doing. And if you do what I'm doing healthily, then maybe we can connect. I don't know why these women really think that they could possibly actually get with me, or like things would actually work out when they're not actually building their own thing. Like for you to give me so much of your energy, you can give me so much of your attention, talking about all the things that you're trying to do to me and all the stuff that you want to do, just all this stuff, like just giving me all this attention instead of yourself is unattractive to me. Like, it shows me as a spirit, like it shows my inner woman, okay, because we're all men and women, so it shows my inner woman that you are not in resonance with yourself. You don't want to be connected with yourself. And I get, like, if you really think that your form of needing to be connected with yourself is like through me, that's literally the point of episode 3 of Tablet Talks, where I got to connect how seemingly this woman, Danielle Rama Hoffman's whole book about unifying with Thoth through divine consciousness and all that stuff was connected to me having these cults chase me. Well, that was just very therapeutic. Check that episode out. Because it's literally like so subconscious. That's why I'm talking about it right now. This is how like subconsciously connected everything in the universe is, where literally my past life is like this stuff, and then it trickles into this life where I'm just Chase dealing with an unrelatable situation of women chasing me, and all of like the weird unrelatable energy that has come out of that from my life, and like having to learn like when do I communicate it versus not. And it's but so getting to see and process and experience how it's all just part of just my soul, hermeticism, the lessons that I'm passionate about sharing. It's just, I don't see how right, like I can get you thinking that your mission of how to connect with yourself is by connecting with me. I'm going to tell you right now that that's unhealthy. Like, for anyone listening to this, for whatever cult girls, whatever sex witches, sex demons, whoever like you are, all y'all, just letting you know that it is the least attractive thing to focus your attention on wanting to be with me instead of focusing your attention on wanting to be with yourself. And then this goes for just all spirits, like everything in the universe. This is the point of my caduceus. It's the point of having your snakes wrap around your own tree repeatedly so that you create your own garden that allows you to cultivate your own simulation where you can then share your gifts as you to the universe. That's what Mercury is. I have sex with myself. I bring my snakes into my space, into my tea repeatedly to create my spine, my tree trunk, my sense of time, my mind, that then can create a beautiful simulation that is the number 20. So now I'm granting more space for other spirits to connect. And now all these spirits that are in resonance with my imagination can come help me further build Mercury and further establish simulations. And this is how the universe just constantly expands. And see, like, what I'm saying isn't pseudo, of course, because this is how your heart expands. This is how your brain expands. This is how your muscle expands, literally. Right? You go to the gym, you do something repeatedly. So instead of putting your energy into people outside of yourself, you go to the gym, you put your energy inside of yourself, you do something repeatedly, and now you're building up more space for connections inside of your own body. That's the number 20. That is the letter T. And now you're becoming more stable because you're able to literally withstand more connections. And that's what weight is, connecting with others. Lightness is when you're connecting with yourself. Lightness is true individuality. Weight is the number 2, which of course is correlated to 8. That's why it's weight, because the actual weight itself is a structure. Your ability to pick up the weight is the 2, right? Like you picking up weight, that's the 8. Like, okay, the longer I hold this weight, I will get stronger. And the only reason you can hold that weight is because of your ability to connect. So when we think about life in the subconscious world, the 8 is waiting forever. Like life just gets heavier and heavier the more you wait in your 8, the more you wait in your subconscious. And that's the thing with then feelings and emotions. The more you wait in your internal water, or the more you wade in water, the more tired you get, right? Like, could you wade in the ocean forever? You know, like, could you just doggy paddle in water forever? Can you comfortably lie down and go to sleep in water? On an elemental level, you can drown in water and be asleep, but that's not conscious sleeping. That's death, right? Like you drowned. So if you want to consciously sleep on top of water, you have to communicate to get yourself out of the water. And then you have to consistently communicate outside of the water with your air enough to be able to build earth out of the water. Now you have like a tectonic plate or a continent or just an island, a landmass on top of the water that allows you to comfortably sleep while breathing air. That's why I'm thought. The universe is just one chaotic pool of water, constantly created by spirits wanting to connect with spaces outside of themselves. So my biggest gift is me being me. I am naturally me. But as far as making that relatable, it looks like Hermes. It looks like Tahuti. It looks like being the messenger of the gods, using my air to communicate throughout the whole universe and share all of my wisdom. And then that looks like me being Tahuti, where I can practicalize my wisdom and I can settle in certain simulations in order to build pyramids and structures that support your ascension, all of our ascension, just support our spaces, our spirits in general. That's all the structure's meant to do. Support the spirit, support the space, support the desires of all of the minds that are creating that structure. So then this is just where a simulation has their desires. They let me know what they want. They let me know just all the details kind of how life is going down and what would be happening. And they communicate to me their position. And they communicate to me what they would like me to do. And at the same time, they let me know what I'm free to do, what the limitations are, because everything is contractual. So this is why people can't just, like, people get lost in that idea of God, where they're like, oh, but if you're really this name, then you would be the God that is able to fly off a cliff. And it's like, all right, well, you're ignoring the fact that we agreed to limitations so that we can actually ground our experience here. Because you're asking for some like wild, like fire change stuff, transformation type deal that would sort of defeat the purpose of all of us actually sacrificing our individuality. So I would tell that person to listen to Dissect the Dialect. Because the whole point of X and us being able to recognize X so that we can Z is us knowing that we are all sacrificing our individuality in order to create the circumstances where we can vibe. And this now looks like sleeping together inside of one big pool of water. And then we're constantly, and that pool of water being the universe, constantly using our ability to sleep together to gain stability. That's all spirits are doing, like throughout the whole universe, using their abilities to sleep together to gain stability. So it's just about, do you sleep with others or do you sleep with yourself? And of course, when I'm saying sleep, right, it has sexy connotations. But Z is about sleeping, because Z, being number 26, is 8. So sex is 6, 8 is sleep. What happens after you have sex? You go to sleep, right? What happens after you create life? You become unaware inside of your own creation. I've never put it like this. Pretty cool. So this is literally what we're doing, like every time we're born. Like we're there, we're creating our life. That's what we learn in Dissect the Dialect. We have our P, and we're writing out our O, our own story from our own space repeatedly. So now we're hitting these reps with our P, with our pen, and this allows us to then go on quests outside of our space based on the questions that we have about our idea of perfection. So now as we're writing our own stories from our own space with our P perfect pen, what's your perfect penis to go spit out the fluid, to shoot out the seed, literally, right? You're writing out your perfect penis, your perfect father. You're picking out the father to shoot out your seed so that you can start your perfect story, so that you can go on a quest outside of your own space and realize who you truly are. This, man, Dissect the Dialect was deep, bro. Like, I made Dissect the Dialect after a very awesome experience of separating my mind from my body and going on a whole quest outside of my body, actually. And the awareness and intelligence and everything that I got when I came back translated and created Dissect the Dialect. So now I'm able to communicate like this, and it's like totally different. And it's so lit because it's just all part of my awakening journey. This is all just part of me growing the symmetry, leveling up alone so I can level up with you. And the fact is, even me leveling up alone, I wasn't alone when I'm in those other spaces. When my mind is separated from my body and going through all these other simulations and interacting with all these different other spirits and all these other light projections, then I can come back more consciously communicate how we create life out of light. And it's like I'm naturally able to like tap more into my subconscious, because by separating my mind from my body, I actually got closer to my spirit. And because I got closer to my spirit, I learned way more about who I was before being a body. Because the whole point of being a body is to separate yourself from your spirit so that you can feel more like something instead of nothing. Now you can be taught what you are, so you can relate with everyone who's speaking the same language as you. So now now I'm in the balance where like, okay, I'm like very fully aware from the past 24 years of like what I've been taught that I am, while being fully aware of who I actually am, so that I could even create the circumstances where someone could teach me that I'm something else. From here, as symmetry, I can communicate and build structures for us to ascend. And right now that looks like Dissect the Dialect. So it's all subconscious. The point is, it's all about the number 8. It's all about being connected with your soul and knowing that anytime you step outside of your own space, you're always going to be connected to yourself. So you can't run away from yourself. This is why my business as Hermes, my business as Mercury, in all ancient civilizations and all simulations, I just get better at my own business. My business as Mercury is only ever teaching you how to connect with yourself. That looks like decolonize your face. Okay? Decolonize your face is you learning the exercises and techniques and tips and tricks that allow you to straighten your teeth naturally and align your spine back into where it's supposed to be as per the Caduceus, and just create more space inside of your face so that your cheekbones are sharper, your jawline is wider, you don't have speaking problems anymore, you don't have like jaw clicking or shifting. There's so many health issues that come from us having crooked teeth, and braces and orthodontistry overall create more problems in the face. I literally went through all that, where my face is super messed up now because of braces. And I specifically went through all the pain and excruciating problems that braces caused for me, just so that I could build up the awareness and use this body to flip it. And now I can use my body, use my own simulation to build a business off of showing you and teaching you how to reverse all of these health issues that come from living a white supremacist lifestyle. Because it wasn't just braces that really messed up my face and created malocclusion in my teeth, but it's of course our food pyramid having a base of carbs. So we're all like eating like super soft sugary things, and it's sitting every day, so that my spine is permanently destabilized in my developmental years. So every single day my spine's curved, I'm not using my muscles properly, and my head is down too. So now I'm looking down all the time, and that even more so is then meaning that I'm not using my tongue properly. That's 5 things. Not using my tongue properly because I'm looking down, and I'm sitting all day every day as a child being forced to memorize a bunch of white supremacist garbage that's only separating me further from my spirit, and this is all creating health problems inside of me. And then braces comes in to make that like 10 times worse. And the whole point of Decolonize Your Face is me showing you how to reverse that, because these past years I have healed like everything. Now it's just a process of constantly changing it. But like, I used to have this immense pain where I could not eat because my teeth were so tight on the left side, and my orthodontist and dentist, they were just constantly gaslighting me, like the whole like a year plus that I kept bringing it up to them. They kept telling me that I wasn't flossing enough, that it's my fault that I'm having this pain. And literally the only reason I had that pain was because the braces that they put on me were tightening my teeth so hard that there's just too much pressure, and now I can't even eat because they're too tight. So this is what Decolonize Your Face is all about. We create more space inside of our face because braces colonize your face. Braces tighten your teeth in. That's why they need to take your wisdom teeth out. Notice I'm the god of wisdom. I didn't let them take my wisdom teeth out. That's a synchronicity. Like, I went through it like straight up. Like, I went through it just enough so that I could have my teeth really messed up. Like, they shaved my teeth and everything because they pulled them so far in that they had to like make them smaller, because that's the issue with braces. Like, if the teeth are supposed to be spaced out, then they're bigger because they're spaced out. When you pull them in, of course you're going to need to shave them down because you're making them smaller. Like, that's a synchronicity. I did not let them take my wisdom teeth because I felt it did not feel right. It was like my spirit had me go into the vibration of dealing with the pain and the issues and the excruciating changes that I saw in my face and body of what braces did to me, so that I could now create what I've created now. I can create Decolonize Your Face and be passionate about Mercury, be passionate about communicating, be even more passionate about how important teeth are. But my spirit did not let me go far enough to have my wisdom teeth removed, because that's wisdom. And there's just something there. I don't even have more words for that, but the fact that they're called wisdom teeth, and I felt only horrible about them further like making me pay them more money to get these taken out, even though they're hitting me with all the logic, right? All the logic of like, they're under your teeth, they're so impacted, look, they're completely sideways, and they're like completely sideways in my face. And I felt no. And that's the point. I had to know who I was at that point. So this is all a journey. Life is always a journey. Your subconscious life, your life is a journey of you riding your own wave. So life is subconscious because you're always riding your own wave. You're riding your own dick at that point. Because the point is, you are riding your own thought. You have a thought, and that ultimate thought that powers your life and powers all life, I promise, is the desire to connect to something outside of yourself. Otherwise, you would be dead. So that's what a dick is. Right? It's something that penetrates the space. It's like, oh, you're connecting to something outside of yourself. It's now penetrated your space. You're now you're having an orgasm perhaps, or you're going because you're realizing something else is here. Right? Like when you're walking in your own home and then you go because a dick has penetrated. Hello. Right? And then boom, now maybe that dick is there to give you a surprise, or they're a robber. But either way, getting unsuspected dicks is not fun. Getting unsuspected visitors is not fun. Getting colonizers, getting white supremacists, getting Judeo-Christian governments penetrating your space and making you create life for them is not fun. And it's not consensual. And the universe is one big vibrational, watery, cosmic sea of consent. I consent to being here because everything is synchronistically happening. And that's why I'm so passionate about communicating about you being the synchronicity. You being the no coincidence. Our podcast is Synchronicity. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything is intentional. How do you feel about that? We're talking about it because you are the coincidence. Everything's coinciding inside of you, and your intention is to connect your coincidences with other people's coincidences. So now here we are, living a whole life, living a whole simulation of no coincidence, because all of our coincidences are coming together to create one giant story, just one cosmic movie that's playing out perfectly based on all of us writing our own perfect stories from our own space repeatedly. That's why you write from the right brain. And that's why America forces us to write with the right hand instead. Because that connects to the left brain. If we were writing with our left hands from our right brain, we'd be way more in the emotional mode of creating versus consuming. So this is like the other big issue in this realm. With people being so right-handed, they're forced to be in the left side of the brain, which is about consuming the information that they are putting down, not actually creating the information that they're putting down. And this is like a whole spiritual attack on Americans' ability to manifest, because the whole point is to make them consume the history books, consume the education that we're taught, consume the legal system, consume all the rules, right? You don't create your own rules, don't create your own life, don't write with your left hand. You need to write with your right hand so that you can consume the life that we've created for you. And we can teach you how to consume so that you can support the genocide of indigenous peoples and cause climate change. Make more money. So everything is connections. This is why second podcast is all about spiders being 8-dimensional beings. Second episode of our podcast. Because spiders are integral to building Mercury. Like Spider-Man is weaponized Hermes energy for this reason, on this deep spiritual level. Because it's all about spiders being the number 8, being the creatures that create webs, create connections, and thus actually make time possible. And then this is where Tahuti is, God of the moon, God of time. It's about reflecting upon your creations, because that's how we create time. And then that's how we can more consciously create, by reflecting upon what we've already created, right? So when we already create nature so we can connect, now we reflect upon it and communicate together. And this is why L is the 12th letter in the alphabet, because then we use light. We already are in a light simulation that we've made from our internal elements. But now we can use the light that is our body, which is made out of the elements inside the simulation that we've made from our minds, to then feel like we are those bodies. And we can then use light inside of the bodies, inside of the simulation that we are mentally manipulating from all of our own individual spiritual perspectives, to then create light, create language, create law, create logic that allows us to love, feeling connected to each other. And then this is all of these words that I'm using. And this is us having clocks, L being 12, the clock. And then M being 13. Now we're going to make our clock matter. So now everyone's thinking about money, right? Like everyone's thinking about the M. Everyone's thinking about making matter, making money. How does money manipulate matter? Why are we allowing money, which is not real, to manipulate matter, which is real? And all this stuff, again, climate change stuff, just M energy. And in general, it's this spiritual vibration, this fact of how we create life. The fact that we build these simulations with our elements, and then we use light, we use the L to be able to kill our ego and share our heaven, JKL, inside of the realm that we're in. And then, of course, the moment we make our light matter, N has to come in to show us that nature matters. Nothing matters. Negroes matter. Inwards matter. The moment you have a structure, you have something, it's important that you go inward, back into your own O. M-N-O. J-K-L-M-N-O. Like, it's amazing how all that just works out, right? Like, it's just a complete no coincidence, the way that the alphabet connects and the way that we can then see it in life. And now we can more consciously communicate with this higher awareness that I'm granting us based on how I see life, because I have my own individual perspective. That's why I can communicate like this. That's why I'm able to make these connections and do everything that I do. Shout out spiders. Building webs is lit. And that's a whole lesson on impermanence. I mean, how many webs does a spider build? How many webs does a spider have destroyed? It's okay. I won't be too hurt about the symmetry TikTok. It's just all the subconscious life. It's all about those connections, reflecting, learning, because the universe is an 8. So as 9-dimensional beings, we're all just watching this 8 play out forever. We are waiting in the 8. We realize we are creating weight. We realize that we're creating the vibration that we're connecting to. That's the 9-dimensionality. We realize that we are creating the vibration that we are connecting to. So thus, any structures or anything that we're seeing outside of ourselves is an extension of the vibration that we are creating and choosing to connect to. And the more we wait in this 8, the more we realize our real eyes. What are our real eyes? Because life is a real eyes that you realize with your real eyes. Like, life is a lie. Nothing matters. But that's a truth. Nothing matters, though. Like, everything came from nothing. Nothing matters. What is your nothing matters? But the fact that nothing matters means that everything is a lie. Because everything is going to tell you that something matters. Every light is going to tell you that something else matters. Because it's just another light. And this is how we build hell. And this is how we get deeper and deeper into hell. And we get deeper and deeper into the details, like a Virgo. I'm a Virgo moon, so I should know. That's why I can do this like this. It's very subconscious. So this isn't even like a choice of mine. It's just like how I naturally resonate, and I'm able to make connections like this. And then able to understand more of myself and why I'm able to do this. And like how I operate and who I am. Because this is a awakening journey for me. So that's my agreement here, where I'm basically like, I'm here to have fun. Like, we're supposed to be having fun here. And the people who are colonizing these lands are definitely having fun. They've constantly been having fun by creating problems for the people that they need to consume. And to relate with the people that they're constantly enslaving and spreading genocide to, they have to create narratives and use the news and project out stories to act like they're having problems, when literally it's all just projecting their own problems onto us, so that we'll feel better about the problems that they're creating in our own space. So I'm here for a synchronistic ride. Like, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for a whole synchronicity ride. I'm here for the whole no coincidence. Like, I'm here to connect with who I'm supposed to connect with. I have no idea. I'm more than happy alone. I'm infinitely happy alone. So I have no idea who I'm supposed to connect with. That's where the universe brings me the people I'm supposed to be with. And really, my universe is Max. So I trust Max. I trust literally my best friend. I love him so deeply and so dearly. He's never steered me wrong. I'm going to start crying right now. I'm so glad he came in here and hung out with me. This whole life of like being here with him has been remarkable. I'm so happy. Like, he's so awesome. And it's so, oh my gosh. Like, he's just such a remarkably awesome spirit. Person. I just want to say person. Dog. He's a great dog. Great person, great spirit, great entity. Like, I feel like he's older than me. I know I want to learn way more about him. But that'll happen in time. Because then it's like, I would naturally start to share that. So that's where I, as a spirit, well, okay, I as the body, as Chase, my spirit, my ascendant is Gemini. So I'm very communicative. And I'm communicative to the point where when I learn something, I do like to share it. Now, I would have to then be told, hey, don't share this. And then I can be in my earth energy, and Thoth will just like trap that in a pyramid. Like, oh yeah, mental pyramid locked. Like, share what? Like, share it, boom, it gets absorbed into the pyramid. Your ascension, good to go. Hermes, not on that Virgo shit. He's on some Gemini shit. He takes that flame and then just like flies it to a stadium, to Olympus. Like, oh, everyone needs to know this. We'll all level up together. And this is like both of my ideas of how we are gonna level up, because I can't imagine not leveling up. That's the whole point of what makes me me. That's why we're in Always Ascending Academy. We're chasing our genes in Always Ascending Academy, tapping into the symmetry and tuning into the mind of Mercury. Because it's all about leveling up forever. There's always a new level, next lifetime, because we're creating it. So that's the point of you realizing, the realize with your real eyes. You realizing that life is one vibration that you're creating. Like, you are creating the universe because you're creating your ability to connect to the universe, which means that the universe is a reflection of and reacting to your soul and your vibration. Hence why you can never run away from yourself. All you can do as a spirit is build upon what you have done before. That's it. And you can reflect upon what you've done before so that you can process it and learn and level up and grow. That's the whole point. So this is why us like having therapists and like us having open communication about our traumas and our subconscious stuff is really important. Like, that Scorpio energy is like really important, Scorpios are some other shit. But it's true. It's just about the number 8. It's about like Scorpios, spiders, right? Scorpios, scorpions, and spiders. Just that 8 energy. Sleeping. We sleep in our 8. Because the moment we create, we want to infinitely sleep in these creations. 26, Z, we connect to that 6, we make that 8. Anyone else who connects to the same 6 as us can now sleep with us, right? So you connect to a certain language. Now, when you're able to speak that language, anyone else who speaks that same language, anyone else who connected with those same creations can sleep with you. Otherwise, you may not feel comfortable enough to sleep with them. And then that's where it depends on your consciousness. If you don't feel comfortable enough to sleep with someone who doesn't speak your language, you're probably more in like a conscious state, whereas someone who's more in a subconscious state wouldn't care about that, because you're both humans with beating hearts. And if you have the right body language and just the right emotional understanding, then you're completely fine. But at the same time, right, humans are here, spirits are here for a conscious experience. That's why everyone's kind of trying to learn how to speak the same language. And we are constantly getting new grounds for words. We're constantly making up words. All words are made up. So we're just getting a basis based on wherever we are at the current moment, right? Like that's just the 8. Like when we're waiting in life and we're waiting in our soul, then we have to like be very balanced, like have one foot in both circles. Like one circle is the past, the other circle is the future. One circle is the water, one circle is the fire. And you as a spirit are experiencing yourself as air, able to look at and touch all this earth inside of the air, as long as you're breathing air inside of your body, right? Like it's all happening right now. It's so cool. And I'm very glad that I can like bring all these words and consciousness to it. Because it's been quite a ride for Chase. Like this whole lifetime. It's been quite the 8. It's very great. But now it's getting late. So I think I will separate and perhaps meditate. You are awesome. Subconscious is basically everything. Honestly, this might have to get a part 2, low-key. Just because I didn't even get into how my whole life has been guided by communicating with my subconscious, with Iracel, communicating with my spirit through my subconscious mind. Okay, so when like everything that I've just shared here with life being subconscious, know that the spirit communicates to the consciousness through the subconscious. That is the connection between the unconscious and the conscious, the subconscious. So when you want to get in touch with your spirit, with your God, with ancestors, with other spirits that your spirit wants you to be connected to, then that's all going to be through the subconscious. And then that's where life gets psychedelic. Because all the consciousness that you're experiencing is being created through the subconscious, right? Everything that you're experiencing right now, literally bringing this to like physical, just straight up grounded, is connections. Everything, all this earth is underwater because everything is based in water. It's just then air is the way that water communicates into the structures that we perceive as earth. Water is the connections, right? So everything's connected, or else it wouldn't be able to communicate, right? You have to be connected to something to be able to communicate with it. So everything is water, so it can communicate into air and then be able to build the things that we perceive as earth. But we can only perceive these things as earth if we're connected through water. So you can only perceive your consciousness as a spirit if you're connected through your own subconscious. So it's about knowing that you as a spirit are experiencing yourself as your consciousness, but you are creating your consciousness from your unconsciousness. Pretty lit. And if you want to get even more deeply connected to your subconscious, then hop into our online courses at chaseyourgenes.com. We're here in Always Ascending Academy, getting tough with water fasting, getting even deeper into our souls, getting even deeper into the chaos so that we can build even better simulations and create even better situations. Your boy Symmetry is peacing out. I love you. Mwah, mwah.